Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? This is Samuel Leggett representing TeamJVS. It is, again, prayer time. I apologize to you guys. Yesterday, I did not put up an official video, so this is technically yesterday's video, or the topic that I was going to do yesterday. Not going to go into conditions why. Let's just say video games were involved. Stayed out really late. Definitely needed rest and relaxation. And I also need to kind of clear my mind on some things personally. But I think you guys are gonna enjoy this topic. I have two different videos. This video and then the next one. You definitely don't want to miss either one. So if you see me with the same exact shirt, that's the reason why. But I will say that I don't have a specific scripture dedicated to either one of these because I really want to get you guys' personal opinions on both of these specific topics. So if you can, go into the comment section below and just relay your thoughts and your feelings and emotions on both topics. So too much social media. I'm gonna give you a quick background story. It's really been about a year and a half almost now that I deleted my Facebook app. Now, I still get on Facebook. I still use the Facebook Messenger to communicate with friends and family. I still sometimes go up there via the web app version, like on my laptop, or like if somebody sent me something, I see it in the email, then I'll go respond back to it. But I really don't be in Facebook at all. But then the other side of that, the carryover over that, is Twitter. I'm almost on Twitter, I want to say almost every day. Like I look to Twitter to get more specific news about what's going on, but then you know that Twitter has been notorious for ending careers. Like the last person that really got hit really hard was Ezra Miller based on his allocations. They kind of got leveled out a little bit, but you know, the circumstance that he had with his fan, it did not work really well. The last big one that I remember was definitely James Gunn, and I forgot the guy that was on The Talking Dead. I literally watched these people's career just go, and Twitter can be the most dangerous and at the same exact time very quickly informative place to be able to get information. And as a consequence, a lot of people just want to be able to let their people know, their friends know, and people that they would never talk to, like literal like stars and famous celebrities, be able to communicate with people on the outside. Like that is the filter that a lot of these social medias have in regards to whatever situation going on. A good example for me is there's a really big trend that's going on where people, this is interesting, want to see what Zack Snyder initially wanted to do with his Justice League film. And I'm not gonna, this video is not dedicated to that. But one of my close friends, Chris, he kind of made this post on a specific day over the weekend, and a dude that I love, who is, his name is Michael Rosenbaum, he is, or was, Lex Luthor for Smallville, and he was also Wally West for the Justice League animated series. And just in general, like he's been in the atmosphere of anything DC related, and he kind of made this comment like, oh, well, I'd love to see this or that, and I kind of commented back. Unbeknownst to me, he liked it, and I was like floored. Like it's such an amazing feeling to really feel, what's the word? There's a word that I'm really searching for. Accepted, heard. Like feeling as though you can communicate with somebody that you yourself look up to. I've had people in the comment sections go and say, please give me a shout out, or please say this. And I didn't understand why, but then eventually I kind of equated it and understood like either one, they love the channel for a long period of time, or they just really wanted to kind of hear something from me in whatever way. And it was just like they wanted to feel acknowledged, they wanted to hear heard. And social media in and of itself is a big connection with that. People really want to get heard, they want to verbalize their opinions, and they want to be informed. And Instagram, Facebook, technically YouTube, Twitch, a whole line of different other places are conduits to that. Now, the biggest question that I had for you guys is, it right now, given our circumstances in this pandemic and everything is surrounding everything with COVID-19, is it a good thing to allow yourself to just envelop all this social media and just intake it? I think personally, I thank God that I did delete Facebook, because I feel like if I was on Facebook and the people that I love and cared about, I was starting to see like maybe one of them might be sick, or one of them dealing with the circumstance or dealing with something else, like I would literally start to get obsessed with it, and I would start to allow the negativity to really hinder and hurt my heart. It would really start to, because that's how I care. Some people really just want to be entertained with craziness. The reason why I stopped Facebook back in about a year and a half ago, as I stood there and started seeing people just dying up there, like literally going in fights and getting killed or getting shot by cops, or random circumstances overseas where somebody was just mutilating dogs or animals, and I was like, I cannot be around this. I don't want this in my spirit. I don't want it. And it's crazy because as much as crazy stuff going on TV for entertainment standpoint, it's crazy, but when it starts to get real, that's when it gets real, and I don't want that in my spirit. I don't want that in my heart. I don't want to actually see it. One of the things I pray for my son, I don't even know if my wife knows, is that I pray for his intake, that there's a filter that is covering him by the grace of God of whatever he's receiving, whether it is food, whether it is auditory, what he hears, or whatever visually he actually is receiving, that literally I'm praying the Holy Spirit like blesses him, that is filtered, that anything that's not of good standard or of anything that's not of God, that it does not seep into his spirit and change or impact him in any way, shape, or form. And that's what I want for my own life. So I would answer the question to say that I think that it is very possible that too much social media can and would potentially hinder you. Now, I've said before that you definitely need to make sure you keep and maintain somebody that is going to uplift, push positivity, and hold you in the gap. Pray for you, advocate for you, be there for you. Absolutely, a prayer partner is very essential with something in this situation. But even more so than that, what you absorb, you have to mind that as very carefully as you possibly can, because only you know your temperance. Only you can gauge like, oh man, this one thing, and I'm sitting there watching it. If I continue to watch it, I know how it's going to make me feel. I'll give you a really good example. I said before that some of you guys do not need to look at the movie Contagion. Don't look at it. The reason why I brought that up is not to say that God's not giving us a spirit of fear, for one. So I'm not pushing that on anybody or saying that they shouldn't do this or that this is the gospel, you shouldn't do this. I said that you need to make sure that if you feel like this is something that you know is going to cause you to feel stumbling, fear, or anxiety, or extra concern, and it's not out of this place of entertainment, it's not out of this place of like, oh, I'm looking at this outside the scope. I know for me, I'm not even doing it, but I'm just saying that that is something that easily, with some people, could really put them into a place of fear, depression, and just like it would really wreck them. But only they would be able to really know that. And so you have to also use godly wisdom. So I guess there's one thing, let's break this down. So say you're consistently on, I don't know, Twitter and IG. You look at your favorite Instagram people and their entertainment stuff. You look at different stuff that's going on Twitter. If you're like a big advocate for superhero related stuff or movie stuff, it's definitely some entertainment situations going on. Things getting canceled all left and right. Things happening where people are just put in different circumstances. So it's very entertaining, and it's a different kind of like disconnect from the stuff that's going on in reality. But if you're the type of person that you know you're looking for your favorite, IG celebrity to talk about COVID-19 or what their impact is or how they're fearful or how they're worried, and you just want to kind of maneuver in that lane, then that's not going to be beneficial for you spiritually. And sometimes we all sometimes go through this situation where we want to be a part of the movement of the wave. Some people love to gossip. I don't. The reason why I don't is because I feel like all it does is just fester and stirs, and it's ways that the enemy can be able to really truly hinder the communication and the bridge between the gap between us and God. Just because when you go and you spread a rumor and you just kind of letting it fly and you just adding on to it, it's a trickle down effect, and you don't know what the domino effect is really going to hurt or hinder other people. And that's the same exact concept when it comes to information, when it comes to things that if people are, a good group of people are just working on the negativity train and you just get hit by that wave, you're going to get carried out. And some people love to get carried out with it, not even caring whether or not it's going to put them or their family in a worse state emotionally or mentally. And that's one of the biggest things that I'm saying, that you're going to have to watch that. So, again, to answer the question, I think that there is such a thing as too much. But just taking off the concept of Instagram or Twitter, and you know for a fact, you're just searching for, somebody, maybe you need to kind of take a step and reevaluate, like, okay, maybe I need to stay off of Instagram for a little while because I know I'm going to look for a reason to be worried. I'm looking for somebody else to connect and just kind of vibe off of their energy of worry and negativity. Maybe you might be trying to find somebody that is uplifting, that's like you going on a sermon, and you really want somebody that's going to push into your heart using God's grace and His love and security, and just really telling the facts that God's got this, So that might be your circumstance. So I don't want to put anybody in a box so where they're searching. I'm just asking, evaluate. Take a step back and self-evaluate for one. Second thing is, given the circumstance with Twitter, I don't know what's on Twitter. It's kind of like you going outside and you have no idea how many different insects are literally on the ground. You have no clue. Or better yet, I'll take a better evaluation. You go out into the woods. If you are close by like a country-related area, or you have like a place that's like trees and stuff like that, when you go and you walking through those woods and you decide to get out your car and walk out through those woods, is there a chance that you might have a tick on you? You have no clue there might be ticks out there. You have no clue there might be spiders out there. You have no clue there might be snakes out there. You have no clue what's in the trees. It could be a bear. You have no clue. You're literally aimlessly walking, and that is what fundamentally Twitter kind of is. And so I would say just use godly wisdom in what you're looking around, when you're looking around, when you're actually searching, what's going on, what the field of topics you're actually looking at. And then the third thing is, I would say, is that figure out if there's something else alternatively that you can be able to do or talk about, or even just kind of consult with God about, as opposed to kind of like just kind of searching out there. And this is the thing. I'm telling myself this because honestly, I literally, after I just got done eating, I was looking at this random beef that was going on, and whether you guys know it or not, I keep up with a lot of the craziness that goes on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. But there was this beef going on with this YouTuber / entrepreneur named Chart. And it was literally like this beef that started from something that happened with his relationship, and then it spawned into this other person that was dealing with this. And then literally I was like, man, I'm worried this man might lose his life. And I literally just got looking at it, and it didn't have any kind of connection with COVID-19, didn't have anything like, matter of fact, it really didn't have anything involvement with me. It was just I was engaged in it. So I get it. I'm not saying, I'm not telling anybody not to do what I just was doing. I'm just saying that through this, you have to watch and gauge what's going on in the inside of your heart. For me, I know for a fact, yesterday I was dealing with some stuff mentally, and at the same time, I was trying to play some games with my friends, like for real. And like a part of that, I had to take a step back and evaluate, you know what I'm saying, like, God, am I spending more time about what you call me to do in this moment, in this season, than my own comfortability? I wasn't. I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to be complacent. I wanted to go and just chill. And so today I kind of was like, you know what, like, God, help me to be able to be uncomfortable so that I can feel as though I'm moving with the beat of your drum. I'm moving with If whatever is on your heart for this situation for me, you know. And today I went and I worked out, hit the bag, got through my work hours, took care of my son, made some food again later on tonight, took care of the dishes for wifey, and I was like, I gotta make these 2 videos. And I knew that it was on the inside of my heart. It wasn't what I didn't want to do it yesterday. It was just I spent more time in my comfortability than really going and doing what God had called me to do and walking in uncomfortability through the circumstance. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's okay to give yourself grace. And sometimes that you just really need to kind of take a step back. But what you don't want is to let that dwell, let that be able to be a consistent thing, because then it's just kind of like a trickle effect. And that is something that easily social media can be. You keep this phone on you all the time. Ask yourself, I can't speak for anybody, but ask yourself, how long do you go without being around this phone? Is it 5 minutes? Is it an hour? Is it days? If most of the average, I would probably say at most you guys are away from this phone maybe 10 minutes. And that's not shade to anybody. That's just the way that our world right now is and how it functions and thrives. It's insane. It's really insane. And I'm just talking about the phone. I'm not talking about all your other social media devices. Some of y'all got switches and stuff like that. And I'm not talking about switches like you anyway. But prayerfully that gave you guys something. And I think that there is a such thing as too much social media. And I think specifically now, I think it'd be really good for the third thing, like I said, to evaluate what could you be doing alternatively to that. I mean, some of you guys, it might be like y'all might be writing, like going and doing like a devotional. Some of you guys are like really great and amazing content creators. You might be working on a new sketch, or a script, or working on a book. Some of you guys may have like ideas or inventions or something that's on your head or on your heart that now you're able to have time to be able to output it and do it. You know what I'm saying? And it might be uncomfortable. You might like have to tie over some time. I had to talk to your wife or your husband about like, I need a little bit more time to do this. Or maybe some of you guys just need to go outside and do something. Like whatever it is, walk in that uncomfortability in that moment, as opposed to trying to say, you know what, maybe I don't have to go and be looking at this right now. So I'm going to go and close this out in prayer, and I'm going to just pray for God to give us strength through this circumstance, and then I'm going to work on the next video. Precious Heavenly Father God, I thank you, Lord God, for the opportunity to be able to just leave an outpouring of your love and just your concern and what you've put on the inside of my heart to be able to freely give in this moment, God. I pray right now that anybody that is dealing with any kind of worry or concern or stress or burden, that it might be lifted right now in the name of Jesus. I pray right now people might be able to find your joy, your strength, your ability to be able to move forward, God. But right now, focusing in on strength, Lord, bless us on our guard, Lord. Bless us in moments that we feel so stressed, so burdened, that we have to go and reach for other things. If those other things are not of you, if those other things are going to keep us in a hole, it's going to keep us bound and tied down to our own comfortabilities, I pray, oh Lord God, that we might have the fortitude and the ability to be able to walk in our uncomfortability, that might be able to be used mightily through the giftings and the ideas and the heart that you've given us to do things in this world for such a time as this. If it is, Lord, you've called us to go and give to the needy, then great. If you called us to go and write something and create something, then great. If it is just we have to be standing in place and standing in the gap for others and praying for others, and that's what you called us to do in this moment, I pray, oh Lord God, we might have the fortitude to be able to hear and listen and trust that you have it in that specific moment to us to do, Lord. I pray for these things right now in your name, by your blood. Amen, amen. Love you guys. Prayerfully this bless somebody. I know this was all over the place. I know it was very unconventional. It definitely started off really weird. But yeah, I thank God for being able to do it. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. I'm about to create the next video. The next video is going to be very fascinating because I don't necessarily know how I'm going to do it. But I do think that for me, this might be one of the most important topics that I could ever create based on prayer time. Okay? Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Jesus loves you guys, so do I. Peace, guys.